Hi guys, these parts here are the inside of my Windows Home server. A couple videos back I had intended to pull all this stuff out and stick it in a rack mounted case, and as it turned out I ran into a couple of problems doing that. So I ended up buying a brand new server case to put all this stuff in. So I just pull all this stuff out of the old server case, and I'm going to be moving it into what will be its final home finally. So these are all the parts here. One problem I had before is my 500 watt Best Buy Rocketfish power supply shorted out. So I went and I bought a Corsair GS600 power supply. There are tons of unboxing videos of this online, so you can find one of those there. I'm not going to bother doing another unboxing video. But I think this is going to work out really well. I got a really good deal on this guy. I happened to be on sale at Best Buy, of all places, and I redeemed some Best Buy points, reward points, I guess. So I got a really good deal on this. So I'm going to take all this stuff, put it in the new case, and then we can finally get this project complete. Show you what the hard drives look like in these plastic trays. You can see the drive sitting in the tray, pegs on the side here. It's actually not too bad. And then these just slide in. And snap in. So that actually makes it pretty easy. So here's my 3 drives inside the little cage here. There you go. Okay, so here's everything inside the case, finally. Things looking pretty good. Not great. The cable management is sort of non-existent in a case like this, but you know, it's just going to sit on my rack, and that's okay. Power supply here is not modular, which is fine. So I tried to clean these up as best I could, and they're just going to sit there. And I opted not to put in the DVD-RW, mainly because it's tough to see here, but these you know, LED cables and front panel connectors are really close, and on top of that the power supply cables sort of get in the way too. So rather than put in a drive that I probably won't use, I'll just leave it out. And if I ever have to do some upgrades or install some new software on this thing, I can just pull it out and hook up the drive temporarily, so that's not a huge deal. One other thing I did do, I added just a little piece of electrical tape here, because this, even though this cable is sleeved, it was sort of hitting this tab here, and this is not rolled or anything, so it's a little bit sharp. So, you know, even though it's not going to be a lot of movement, I just figured, you know, a piece of tape will do the job and, you know, protect us just a little bit more. And that's about it. I am using, actually one more thing, I am using the little speaker that came with the case. That just sort of hangs out like that. So I will power this on so we can get a final look at this thing, and then also I want to make sure that the fans aren't too terribly loud. I did a quick test of just the cage fan for the hard drives, and that wasn't loud at all, so I think we're going to be just fine. Okay, so I've got my little test monitor, or not little, but my test monitor hooked up, and I'm going to turn that on, get that ready, and here we go for our power test. I'll get everything on, powered up. You can see my reflection there. That's probably not what you care about. And there we go. Now, I wasn't, worried about this not working because I didn't really change anything. I didn't add any new parts, and I just took out that DVD-RW drive. So I was pretty confident that it was going to come back on. I did want to keep an eye on, or an ear maybe, on the fans. It's really not loud at all. I think the loudest fan that I've got is maybe this little power supply fan. And it's not a good idea to stick your finger in the fan. But at any rate, the power supply fan is actually nice and quiet. It's blue. Doesn't really make a huge hell of a performance difference. CPU fan is going, but there are two fans back here. They're blowing a lot of air, and they're not really loud at all. And I only have the one fan for this cage hooked up because that's the only one that has drives in it. And I figured, well, I'll just leave that one alone. So overall, I'm actually pretty happy. I think this is great. So I'm gonna do a final overview and make sure everything looks okay before I stick it in the network rack. So I'm doing a test fit of the new server inside of my rack, and I've got another problem which I've been seeming to have every time I try and get to the next step with this project. What's happening is, you can kind of see it there, the handle of the case is bumping into the front of the door here. So I'm gonna have to pull it out and take the front part off and try again. Alright, so I did get the sides off, or the handles anyways, and here's the handle here, and the mounting bracket sits in here. But this little hole right here goes into this little hole right here. This is the front of the case, and I left this one connected so you could see. So what does that mean? That means that if I get rid of the handles, I also cannot use the front of the case. Not a huge deal, just because the rack is in my house and I'm not really worried about anybody from my family coming down here and taking my stuff, so I'm not worried about that. So what I'll just do is I'll keep the front panel. I'll put it in the box, save it, and I'll just reconnect the sides and try again. I wanted to show you how the case is going to actually be mounted in the rack. What these are my favorite, actually. These come from battery backups, and they're essentially little shelves for rack mounted battery backups, and I actually can get these from work for free, which is great. So what I do is these little tabs here act as like a little shelf, and they'll get mounted in the case, or mounted in the rack, and then the case actually will sit on top of this little ledge here, and it works great. I don't really have to worry about getting slide out rails because I don't need them. I don't really do too much maintenance, and when I do, it's not really an issue to pull the case out. I've got, I'm already using 3 of these, or 2 of these already in the network rack as it is for a couple other servers that I have, and I picked up another couple for my job. They don't use them. They've got another way to mount these power supply or battery backups in the data centers at work, so they actually just chuck these. So whenever I need them, I just go down and grab them, and they're more than happy to give them to me. So that's what I'm going to use. You can see now that front of the new case has got no cover because I did pull it off, and I mounted the brackets here on the side. So we're hopefully we'll be done. Just have to mount the rails and then put the case in, power it up, and we should be all set. Okay, we finally have success. New servers in the rack, finally, and we are powered up. And let's take a look. And there we go. We are up and running finally. So I can finally put this project to bed, and all I have to do is put the door back on my rack, close it up, and then I'm done for tonight. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.